Farm. It's a Thursday. It's the 13th of March. And being a Thursday, it is that day where we welcome Reverend Sophie and Father Neil for confession. Who will be confessing this week?
Morning.
Good morning, guys.
How are we doing?
We're doing very well, thank you. Yes,
Very well.
indeed. The sun is shining, if a little bit, according to Gina's traffic report, low in the sky. So drivers, do take care and attention.
Put your shades on.
Yes, the future's so bright. You've got to wear shades.
I love that. And Reverend Sophie, how are you doing? Haven't seen you this week so far.
I know. It was Tuesday morning. Father Neil was on the airwaves and I was in bed. No,
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
The anticipation is building, isn't it?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Why is the anticipation building?
Well,
Father
because
Neil?
it's your birthday on Sunday.
Woo!
Oh dear, it
Yes.
is my
Yay.
birthday on Sunday.
Yeah.
You're doing a live and kicking
Yes.
on your birthday.
Yes, she
I am
is.
doing a live and kicking on
And
my
she's in
birthday.
church on her birthday.
And I'm
So
in church on my
everybody
birthday.
in Wiston, Walton, East and Clough Haddon, make sure you get a big cake with a 5 and a 0 on it and lots of candles.
So,
Cheeky
It's a
monkey.
big birthday for Reverend Sophie. It's 50. She's a granny and she's 50. She's got grey hair. She's put on a little bit of weight, so much so that she can't actually find a dog collar to fit her. That's why she's not wearing a clerical collar in the studio this morning. Those of you watching on social media will realise this. So, yeah.
Reverend
Fat,
Sophie,
frisky
you
and
having that?
50. Reverend Sophie, fat, frisky and 50.
It's all right, Gina. It's all right. Revenge is a dish best served cold.
Believe it. Oh, my
Uh,
goodness me. Whoa.
Just-
wow.
If anybody can, I'm clearly not 50, you cheeky monkey. I mean, I might have aged a little recently, but I'm not aged that much.
Not that much. Although we
Not
do
that
have
much.
Paul Gisborne Hilton joining us from the Pembrokeshire Over 50s Forum after 9 o'clock. So you'd be more than welcome.
Yes. That's right.
Confession.
I bought you some of that serum that you put on the old crow's feet, so don't worry, you'll be fine.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, my
generous of you,
goodness.
Father Neil.
I
a
can't
lifetime
believe
of
what I'm
laughter
hearing
right
this
there.
morning.
Last week we had confessions, and Father Neil, you were not here. We had Reverend Ruth in your
You did,
place.
yes.
And we were talking about gnomes.
We were talking about no.
Yes, and everybody universally condemned, apart from the two clerics.
This is true. And then I got home and I was like, oh, we never actually gave a path of righteousness.
No, we didn't.
I was thinking about this. It's an easy fix. You need to put gnomes in your garden.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to go back and get
need
your
to
own ones.
rectify the gnomes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
So there you go. I want to see a picture of them.
Okay.
Perfect.
Or as in the film franchise, just have gnomes in your garden, next door's garden, boy gnomes and girl gnomes looking plaintively at each other. So two houses divided, Capulet, Romeo and Juliet looking at each other.
We got that.
okay.
We were amazed that you managed to remember those things. But
Yes,
we did get
okay.
it. Yeah.
Right.
Today,
Being that
though,
you're so
Today,
old.
in
It's
honour of
time.
Reverend Sophie's 50th birthday this Sunday, we have a birthday confession.
Amazing. Should
Well,
we-
it's sort of a birthday confession. It's kind of like a reverse confession.
let's have a little dance, shall we?
Yeah, let's
Here
go
we go.
for it.
These are my confessions. These are my confessions. These are my confessions.
Father Neil, the floor is yours.
Okay, so this happened 18 years ago.
Okay.
Okay. And it's not exactly to do with somebody in Pembrokeshire, but it is somebody that I know. And I thought, well, because it's Reverend Sophie's 50th birthday this Sunday, I thought we'll have a birthday confession. So a friend of mine who at that time would have been the same age as me, and I am 50.
I thought you were 60.
51. I look 60, but that's from working with Reverend Sophie. So yeah, he would have been early 30s, and he'd been going out with his girlfriend for quite a long time, like 8 years. They were in a long-term serious relationship, and he had a birthday coming up, and his girlfriend at the time offered to plan the whole thing for him. So the Saturday night, the whatever the event was going to be, and that was not normally her thing. she was quite a princess, and so she was sort of like, she liked to be wined and dined herself. But he was really excited because he was the sort of guy to keep things fairly low key. But she said she wanted to make it special, so she booked a nice restaurant and she invited close friends and family to share his birthday, and everything was going great until it was time for dessert at the end of the meal. There's about 12 of them there, and the waiter brought out a cake, and he saw the waiter coming forward, and he thought, and the waiter put the cake down in front of him, and she was sitting next to him, and her name was Sarah, and the cake had on the top of it, "Will you marry me, Sarah?" ? And he was completely blindsided. But she got all teary-eyed and was going, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." Right? No. This is the best surprise ever. And everybody started clapping and people started filming on their phones and this sort of thing. And he just sat there stunned and was sort of like turned to her and went, "What's going on? What's going on?" And she was sort of like, "Well, I couldn't wait anymore. And so I know that you're really bad with this sort of thing. So I took matters into my own hands."
No way! No way!
Oh my word!
Sarah double-crossed him.
Yeah.
That's amazing!
So he was completely befuddled and didn't know what to do for a few seconds. But then he basically just stood up in front of the entire family and said, "This wasn't my idea," and turned to her and said, "This is my birthday. If you'd wanted a proposal, you should have talked to me about it first," and just grabbed his stuff and walked out. Walked out the restaurant. So he got back home and there were messages and messages from friends and family, and half of them were divided. Half of them were saying, "Listen, it was really inappropriate what she did, but
You should have gone along with it."
You should have gone along with it for that night and maybe renegotiated afterwards." And the other half were sort of like, "No, absolutely. If she's prepared to do this, then you're absolutely right to walk out." So we've got two. So we've got two confessions in one.
Yeah,
really,
we
two
do,
birthday
yeah.
confessions. So first of all, was he right to stand up? And I know the answer to all of this because this happened a long time ago. Okay, so was he right to stand up and walk out and just leave it all hanging? And thoughts and opinions on her doing the double with the cake?
Oh,
Goodness.
my
Just
word.
remind, how long had they been together before?
8 years.
They've been together 8 years.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So he was the plan for a birthday party with a partner of 8 years.
Yeah, she planned the whole thing.
She planned the whole thing because he's useless at it.
Yeah.
And then the waiter comes out with a birthday cake.
Yeah.
And on that cake is "Will you marry me?" And she's, "Oh, by the way, I've done this because you're not going to ask."
Yeah.
So I'm asking instead.
Yes.
And then he didn't see the funny side and left.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
It's a good one. You're going to have an opinion on
Oh
this.
my
If you're
God.
listening to us on the radio, DAB, in your car, if you're stuck at traffic lights, don't take your eyes off the road, but I'm sure you've got an opinion on this.
Wow. Well, I'm going to throw it open to Gina in just a second. Sean, over on YouTube, did Sarah eat the cake and did they split the bill? Which I love. Just very quickly, Denise is saying, "Have an amazing happy birthday, Sophie."
Oh, thank you.
Gina, I'm coming to you first. Your first thoughts.
I know I'm desperate to speak about this because I'm wondering whether his birthday was in February and it was a leap year.
Oh, no.
No? Oh, right, because that would have been allowed, you see.
It would have been
Yes.
allowed. Yes, absolutely.
Right, so that's
But even if it had been a leap year, surely the cake would have said, and his name's Tom, "Will you marry me, Tom?" As
Yeah.
opposed to "Will you marry me, Sarah?"
Yeah.
Because, she misrepresented that the cake was coming from him to
Yeah.
her.
Okay,
Which, he would have won so many favours from her side of the family if he'd gone away. Yeah, of course this was my idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But it wasn't a leap year.
No.
She's completely put words in his mouth
Yeah.
after it. Okay. Anna King. Wow. Well, if you want a job doing yourself, it's some thoughts over on Facebook. Reverend Sophie.
I just think it's terrible. Like, that is so manipulative. So manipulative.
Which bit? The cake or the walking away?
The cake. The cake. I mean, he totally did the right thing as far as I'm concerned. I mean, so that. Firstly, asking someone. I think asking someone to marry you in front of a whole group of people is manipulative anyway, because there's no get out. That's really off. Like, even if you know someone really well and you know they're going to say yes, that's out of order. Firstly, it should be a personal thing. It's nothing to do with anybody else. Secondly, you're putting them on the spot, and it's manipulating the situation. It's putting them in a position where they feel like they can't say no, which is borderline abuse.
Strong words.
It is though.
Strong words from the 49-year-old here in the studio this morning.
Thirdly, I just then to say, oh well, you were never going to do it. I'm sorry, but you just don't know that, and I think that's a little bit unfair. So yes, I do think he did the right thing in walking out.
Okay. Was she right in putting the words in his mouth?
No, she was definitely wrong.
Oh.
Most definitely wrong.
See, I want to pick up on something that you said there, just tangentially, throw this in, because you said it's a proposal should always be in private. I was at, and we have a relatively newlywed here in the studio. It's not like the two of us old married folks. Because, and in fact, we married him, didn't we? We were both there. But I've been at a wedding where at the wedding reception, one of the ushers proposed to one of the bridesmaids.
Oh, that's definitely a wrong.
And
Did they ask for permission?
No.
That's just awful.
And
Who does that? It's
the
like
bride was incandescent.
I'm not surprised.
At her special evening, because everybody was flocking around, because he had the ring and everything. Everybody was flocking around the bridesmaid, and she was doing the whole ring thing. So yeah, what would Helen have done? It would have been murder. Murder on the dance floor.
Wow.
Yeah,
No, you got to get permission and plan that so it doesn't become a thing. Helen, I'm with the guy. It was his question to ask.
And even if I'm not particularly one to hold on to traditions in that respect, but whether it was his choice his place to ask or her place to ask is irrelevant here. The way that she did it was underhanded and manipulative.
Ooh.
It should have been discussed beforehand. If
yeah.
it was going to be doing that and in front of the family, and she was just organising everything because he doesn't organise, and she'd said, "Look, tonight, this is going to happen. Is that okay? Or what if this happened?" And sort of find out how it was going to be. I think that was okay, but it was underhand what she did because it was total surprise.
Sean's still with us. Maybe he hadn't paid the family dowry yet, and he was off to the
Like sheep and two camels.
Right place at the right time from Anna King. I assume over an 8-year relationship it had come up at some point, though.
Well, yes, I would imagine so.
Don't know, do you? Don't know. Some people don't think about it at all.
No, some people are just...
They just carry on.
We are just together.
Yeah, that's right. Very happy.
Well. So we've got an emphatic answer from Reverend Sophie.
Yeah,
Gina,
definitely.
Gina, have you given yours? Oh, yeah.
He is definitely forgiven.
So he's forgiven for storming out.
He is definitely forgiven. She is definitely not.
Would it be even better? Did he Did he swing it over his back? Did he go out in dramatic fashion? Do you think?
I wasn't there, so there are photos, but there aren't videos. So
because of course people saw the cake, so that
yeah, and there were friends around the table. Yeah.
Oh, this would have been great though if there was something more to it rather than him just standing up and going. If there'd been some sort of conversation between the families and a bit of shouting, so there was a bit of something to watch.
Yeah, Denise, it should be romantic. I suppose in her mind it was romantic.
Yeah.
And like from her perspective,
Family, friends, she planned it.
It's on a birthday. Like this is a lovely occasion.
She really thought perhaps that he needed that extra nudge, that he wasn't going to get himself sorted out.
Yeah. Anna King is with Reverend Sophie. Rob, Clearline Communications, proud sponsor of Houseworks on a Friday from 9 o'clock. Wouldn't it have been better if the cake said, "Will you marry me, comma, Sophie"? So it's still coming from him.
Oh, Sarah.
But that's why he stormed out.
Tom, did you just propose to me on air?
Hello.
Love you.
Hello. So that way, it still had Sarah's name on it,
Yeah.
but it was a comma. She was actually the one asking.
Yeah, it could have been.
Yeah.
But definitely was not the intent.
Okay.
I know what the
have you-
answer is,
Gina,
so,
have you
uh,
given your answer?
I don't think I have. I'm sitting on the fence at the moment because I don't really know where we go with it. Well, I say she's done the wrong thing, right? One other thing I must ask then, was the whole relationship over after this, or
Well, this is where I was going to take it now. I think I'm going to forgive her because I think it's a wonderful thing to do, and some guys, they need a little kick up the bum to get going. I think it was more the shock that caused him to storm out. I think that they are now currently happily married. I think. Gina.
did we get the answer to that?
You
or
do
not?
get the answer,
Yeah,
yes.
we do.
Right, okay.
But
Yeah,
I want you-
I think as well. I think so because I think he was just sort of not thinking about it. He's doing his whatever he does of an evening, goes out with the boys, does this, that, and the other. But he always comes back to the home because that's his sort of, he needs the organization. He needs somebody to say, this is what we're having for dinner. This is where we're going on holiday. And he needs that in his life. And she's just taken control. But I do think she should have discussed it with him further before.
Yeah.
So on that thing, I don't know if I don't forgive her for doing it on that night. And I don't forgive him for making a big thing. So yeah, not forgiven, but I think it was
Double
the best
not
thing all
forgiven.
round.
Yeah, because I definitely forgive her because he needed the push. He needed the thing. Getting up and causing a bit of a scene and maybe causing upset for probably a couple of days, maybe even a week or so. But I think there's a happy ending to it.
But so we've got 2 not forgivens from Gina, 1 forgiven and 1 not forgiven from Sophie. There's so many permutations.
I know there are, aren't there?
So complicated. Tom, and you are...
I am definitely forgiving her.
Yes.
And in fact, it's a funny story to tell at their wedding that they definitely had. He says so. I am going to forgive with my fingers crossed.
They did have a wedding. Yes, they did have a wedding.
Yay!
The cake, the pictures of the cake were at the wedding were referred to in the speeches. They divorced after 2 years.
Oh no! No! Deceit.
I have to say, not surprised.
I don't know what we play.
No, well,
I'm really confused
I
as
don't-
to.
we've ran out of forgiven with a not forgiving her and forgiving him, but it didn't end with a very happy ending.
I think it's a dun 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 all out.
I have a confession.
Whoa!
You know them. You know
No,
you know
no.
Thomas and Sarah.
No, I don't. know.
No.
I do have a confession then. It occurred to me as I was packing the boot of my car the other day.
Yes.
I thought I must share that confession.
What, for today or next week?
Well, I don't know. What do you want me to do? Do you want another confession this morning? It's
Well,
only- it's
we've
only
been
a
talking.
It's only a
quite
little one. Go on.
Is it a tiny one?
Yeah.
only a little one.
Oh, go on then. Go on then.
So there was once a ceramic goose,
Oh.
Oh.
and the ceramic goose was for keeping eggs in.
Oh.
It was given to Andy by his mum,
Oh no.
and I may have accidentally on purpose dropped it.
Accidentally on purpose.
Right.
Accidentally on purpose.
Was it a wedding present?
It's just
You just
From
didn't
the
want it
mum.
in your
It's
kitchen.
like,
did you?
oh.
just didn't want it in my kitchen anymore.
No.
Oops.
You are totally forgiven, Reverend Sophie. I know
Excellent.
exactly where you're coming from. Yes, there's no room in the cupboard to put this thing. It was going to be out on the top.
No, I do this regularly. No, honestly. My children won't listen to this, but they buy mugs. They buy ugly mugs with inappropriate phrases on them for a vicarage. And I always tell them that the dishwasher breaks it.
Oh my god!
It's just
Cut to commercial! Cut to commercial! What's
It's just
going
me
on?
wrapping it in a tea towel and hitting it. You have the hammer to do the steak. Yeah? Yeah. It's me wrapping it in a tea towel. and
Malleting all these
Yeah.
wonderful, heartfelt gifts. That
No, they're not heartfelt at all. They buy these stupid mugs with inappropriate pictures and phrases on them, which you can't have in a vicarage.
Wow.
So yeah, just
It's when you
smash.
give your church warden a cup with a
Amazing.
big.
Yes, big something on
thing
it.
on it.
Yeah, right.
It's just not right.
If you do something similar, please let us know. Call or WhatsApp on 01437 764455 on studio@pureaustradio.com. Send in your confessions. There's a certain Abigail Hook on
Oh.
Facebook.
That's the wife.
I'm listening, dear, in capitals. The poor daughters. Lana has WhatsApped in. She said, I'm on my way to work and I'm howling in the car at Father Neil. What a great start to the day. And Angela, good morning to you. I think the kids are right. It's only letting your congregation know that you're human. Alive and Kicking on Sunday.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Yes. I'm a bit of a wallet guy.
Okay.
So the only purse that I'm going to be carrying around with me is Perseverance, which is what we're going to be talking about on Sunday morning.
Oh, perseverance.
Yeah,
Perseverance.
Perseverance. Is that was a pun.
We
Yeah.
persevere every Thursday morning here. Thank you so much for joining us. Looking forward to it. We've got celebrations up next. It's 8:30, and we know that someone's celebrating a certain 7th birthday today.
Aww.
7
Yeah.
years old.
And a
Happy
90th
birthday.
as well.
And a 90th.
Oh,
Love that.
Both ends.
Tony's howling too over on YouTube. We've had good fun on this morning's confession. Same again next week.
absolutely.
And Gratitude Tuesday on Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us. Traffic and Travel up next with Link Taxis here on Pure West Radio.
Get your annual pass today for unlimited or